Well, good evening. This is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 10th of December, which is a Monday evening. And I'd like to discuss a little bit about some of the things that are getting banned over Christmas here. We have the song Baby It's Cold Outside, the cartoon Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and a whole bunch of bizarre suggestions by PETA. This is the People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, who want to change a whole bunch of sayings that seem to give a negatory slant on animal behaviour, like killing two birds with one stone. Well, they've come up with some new slogans. And anyways, let's go over and take a look at some of these stories, and then we'll come back and we'll unpack them a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at those. Okay, so this is some of the crazy stuff that is going on in our world today. Backlash as more radio stations ban "Baby It's Cold Outside" over lyrics. Following the lead of several other radio stations in the United States and Canada, Bay Area radio station KOIT said it was banning the holiday staple "Baby It's Cold Outside", and many listeners have said the song, heard on countless holiday playlists, is inappropriate in the Me Too area, but others are outraged. The classic tune has been taken off the air. Penned by Guys and Dolls writer Frank Loessa in 1944, the song's lyrics describe a woman trying to extricate herself from a date, saying, "No, no, no," whilst a man insists that she stays as he moves in closer, pours her more alcohol, and warns her about the weather outside. Critics of the song say the lyrics promote date rape. "I made the decision, it's off for now," Brian Figula, program manager at the KOIT radio, told CBS San Francisco, adding he's considering leaving the ultimate decision up to the people. And what do the people think? Oh, New York, CBS. Song is everywhere this time of year, but this winter some radio stations like Ohio's WDOK is refusing to play the holiday classic. But this is the poll that was taken, and should we ban it? The no votes, 96%, that's 35,000 votes, and those who think yes, they should ban is only 3%, 142. So I think that this would be fairly representative, because I don't have any problem with this song at all. I mean, for goodness sake. You know, there's a book that I read a little while back by James Allen. It's a classic. It's called As a Man Thinketh. And it's written in 1895. And so, of course, when I see the word man, I actually see human. Okay, and I just make an allowance for the fact that it was written in 1895, and that's just how they spoke back in those days, and I make a slight mental adjustment, and you know, we get over that problem. What is wrong with these people? And as I said, there are far more problems, bigger problems than this, to worry about. But what about this? Oh, look at this. This is the war on Christmas. Fox and Friends. Does Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer promote bullying? Fox and Friends held a debate on Monday morning between George Giuliani, Professor of Special Education at the C.W. Post campus of Long Island University, and Brad Stein, the conservative stand-up comedian who had become a bit of a fixture on the show. The topic, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Rankin-Bass stop-motion Christmas classic. Giuliani argued that Rudolph is bullied by other reindeer and Santa Claus. His take? That not only is the bullying wrong, but even his coach Comet and Santa, two authority figures, take part in the bullying. Rudolph is treated very, very badly, the soft-spoken Giuliani said, and that shouldn't happen. He goes on to add that Comet is saying to children, "Don't ever play with this reindeer again," and tells him to go home, and he bullies him and mocks him, and the other kids start mocking him. Can you imagine if your child's teacher said to the class, "Don't ever play with this child again"? Host Gretchen Carlson then turned to an excited Stein, who countered by making some relatively useless conservative liberal jokes, but recovered when he pointed out that this is a story of perseverance. "Look how he handled it," Stein said. He didn't sue Santa because it was a hostile work environment. He overcame obstacles and succeeded. It's the American dream. Still, Giuliani persisted, arguing that the end of the story is where the real hypocrisy comes out. Santa Claus is saying, "You cannot be on my team because you have a disability." Now, at the end, Rudolph helps Santa Claus get through the snowstorm because he has done something extraordinary. He is finally accepted. Carson tried to kick it back to Stein to wrap it up, but Giuliani kept talking. Then he shouted out, "It's a cartoon!" before letting Stein finish. So, what I would like to say about this is that I think that this story very cleverly portrays what it's like to be bullied, how it's like to be an outcast, and how at the end of the day it is a story of perseverance, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer turns out to be the star of the show, not a red-nosed loser. So I think that this actually, it sets the stage. That's what stories do. It sets the stage. It shows you how bullying takes place amongst groups, how unfair that bullying is. And at the end of the day, all of the other reindeers learn a lesson that the reindeer that they were bullying, Rudolph, was actually the star of the show. So I think you've all got the story wrong. I still think this is a great classic cartoon for children, and it does send the appropriate messages to children. So here we are from Romper. Peter suggests changes to sayings involving animals, and Twitter has a lot to say about it. Better start brushing up on some new and improved sayings. Forget about saying grab the bull by the horns and start using grab the flowers by the thorns. At least that's the way Peter would like it. Animal references are out and cruelty-free ones are in. Peter suggests changes to sayings involving animals, and Twitter has a lot to say about it. In a tweet posted December the 4th, Peter said, "Words matter, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, our language evolves along with it. Here's how to remove speciesism from your daily conversation." Most of the responses on Twitter were from folks who thought the idea was unnecessary, to say the least. "You've convinced me thanks to your persuasive chart. From now on, please call me John U. Bagel," one Twitter user quipped. "If you really care about animals, then you must know how feeding scones to birds provides them with no essential nutrients whatsoever, correct? Seems like a silly thing to advocate when you're all for the animals," another added. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We're going to change kill 2 birds with 1 stone to feed 2 birds with 1 scone. Well, this takes the entire meaning out of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And it's not advocating that we go out and throw stones at birds and try and kill them with stones, okay? It means that you can do 2 things at the same time. And I think feed 2 birds with 1 scone really doesn't kind of capture the essence. To be the guinea pig, be the test tube. A test tube, baby? No, no, no. We all know that guinea pigs are used in experiments, and so this is an excellent way to call yourself an experiment, to be the guinea pig. To beat a dead horse, or to flog a dead horse. And we're going to change that to feed a fed horse. Seriously, there's somebody in this organization that has way too much time on their hands to pick away at this kind of language. Bring home the bacon. Or we're now going to bring home the bagels in a little brown bag, no doubt. Take the bull by the horns. Take the flower by the thorns. You know, this really doesn't capture. But to take the bull by the horns means the imagery suggests that you're taking something really strong by the horns. You are going to work on something and get down to it, and this is a sizable task in your way. To take the flower by the thorns. A flower? Come on. Anyway, I wish these people would get with the program and stop wasting their time, my time, and let's deal with some of the bigger issues on this planet. Now, one of the things that I'm finding really interesting about this banning of words and music and books and this kind of stuff, because we've been through book burnings and record burnings. Remember when the Beatles, John Lennon said that he was more well known than God, and all of a sudden there are literally hundreds and hundreds of people in the States burning their records and LPs and this kind of stuff, and this is called moral outrage. Okay, it's usually brought on by some pretty shallow-minded people, and you know, one of the things that I think is going to happen about this, because you'll see a poll which I picked up on Baby It's Cold Outside on how many people think that it shouldn't be banned, an absolutely staggering majority. Okay, so these issues are small potatoes. Okay, and when you start highlighting this kind of stuff, you cheapen your argument. Everyone can see that most of these things that you are bringing up are just, they're old saws, and they're really harmless. They were written an awful long time ago, and some of them do hold some deep wisdom. And so when you perpetuate this kind of stuff, this behavior, it loses its meaning. You lose your power. You lose your power, because all of a sudden you come up with something really serious. This is like the little boy who cried wolf, or the little girl that cried wolf, whichever you prefer. You keep telling that same old story over and over and over again, and then when you finally do have a serious event, nobody pays any attention whatsoever, because they're absolutely sick and tired of meaningless arguments and meaningless points. And you know, this is also a further indication of where we're going to. You know, I was driving home the other night from Peterborough, and I was listening to Saturday Night Blues on CBC Radio, which is an excellent blues show, by the way. It's on Saturday night, CBC Radio, I believe 8 till 10. Anyway, so I'm listening to these great blues songs, and guess what? They were all about trying to get laid. I'm going to beat up my gal because she cheated on me. I'm going to kill my man because he cheated on me. Shake your money maker. You name it. They're all sexist, misogynistic, misandristic, sexual stereotyping. You name it. So we're going to ban every blues song now, are we? And this is where we're going, my friends. These people are such purists that it will not stop until you actually can't say anything, because there is always somebody who's going to be offended by what you say. And if we look back in history, I'm sure you've seen some of those old footages of communist countries like Russia, you know, Poland, this kind of stuff, and you know, you will quite clearly see it's just grey. There's no colour, there's no life, there is no happiness, there's no smiling. And why is that? Because everything has been banned. Speech can be interpreted in so many different ways that even rolling your eyes in Russia was a sign of discontent, and you could suddenly find yourself arrested because you're supposed to be in utopia. How could you possibly roll your eyes and be sarcastic if you are in utopia? Now I'm going to add in a little clip, and this was a very clever guy. This was brought in, this video was made when YouTube was having its first really big changes to the platform, and they were basically not allowing you to decorate or to build your own platform in the image that you would like it to be. And this guy makes a very salient point. It's a very short clip. It's about 2.5 minutes long. Anyway, I'm going to include it in this video because it really does hit the nail on the head. And surely now we can see where this is all heading and why you don't want to go there.
Hello, this is Sunny. Welcome back. Starting from March 7th, 2012, YouTube will make every single channel look exactly same. The same color, the same interface, the same design, everything is the same. Many people don't like it, but I love it. I tell you why. YouTube new design make me feel better. Since I joined the YouTube community last August, my channel has always been ugly, dull, and boring, while most of my friends' channels are unique, exciting, creative, and beautiful. Now the YouTube new design will make your channel ugly, his channel ugly, my channel ugly. We may be all ugly, but the good thing is we are at least equally ugly. This reminds me the Cultural Revolution in China 40 years ago. During that time, every Chinese dressed in the same clothes, read the same books, and sang the same songs. Now let's take a look at one video clip.
Okay, I would rather put up with a bit of sexism, a bit of misogyny, and a bit of misandry, so that we can have a sense of humour, that we can have a friendly ribbing of each other. And I think, really, when you look back to the way we used to behave towards women, for example, or other minorities back in the 1800s, and look at the way people are treated today, I will be the first to agree it's not perfect. Absolutely, there are still improvements that can be made, but we are moving in the right direction. And really shutting down freedom of speech, by shutting down these expressions, by tearing down statues, you are actually driving everything back in a great big hole. Okay, and this is not a good place to be, and I hope to God that enough of us can wake up, who are not far right, who are not radicalized in any way, although my speech may sound that way because of the way society has shifted. And I don't think we need to go there. I'm not closed-minded. I am very open to all kinds of new ideas, new ways of doing business. But, as you saw with Emmanuel Macron, when these corporations and these governments feel that they can ride roughshod. Just for example, I was thinking today how Google, for example, could really move you in one direction or another. So it gives you, take A or B, choice A or choice B. There are no other choices. You take choice A, okay, they define you as a particular kind of person because you made choice A. But that's actually incorrect, because what if you would have chosen choice C or D or E or F were it presented to you? So when you limit the number of choices, and then you say to a person or to people, you have to choose, that you have to choose from this limited number of options that we're going to give you, and then we're going to judge your personality on those limited options, well, those personality assessments are going to be incorrect. And I'm sure that anybody who has done an online poll, when you read the questions, more often than not, the answers are nuanced. They're neither yes nor no. They're somewhere in between, or there may be a caveat or some other thing that you might add on to your answer, but there's no room for that. And when you narrow the field of responses, then you distort the poll, you distort the questionnaire, and you distort your analysis because the input data was incorrect. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Join the conversation. Please leave a comment and click that big red button. It really helps when you do. And I'm sure there'll be lots of things. This deal in France is not over, so I'll be making some more videos on that, I'm sure, this week. And there seems to be a never-ending stream of nitwittery, which is worthy of commenting on. Okay, so you take care, you have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. See you now. Bye.